Sai Ram students, welcome to the fourth session of chapter 16, that is natural resources. So children, before starting today's session, let's revise what we had learnt in the last session. So children, in the last session we were seeing the natural resource, that is coal and mineral oil, right? So coal is said to be a fossil fuel. So why it is said to be a fossil fuel? Because coal we get from the remains of the plants, right? So what happened millions of years ago? Forest they got buried underground because of some certain events. Then later on layers of soil got deposited over them, and because of the very high temperature and pressure, the remains of those plants they got transformed into fuel, right? So that's why coal is said to be a fossil fuel. Then children, we saw that coal, it is found in mines. Then there are various types of coals, your peat, lignite, that is your brown coal, bituminous coal, and anthracite coal. These are the various types of coals, and out of this, anthracite is the coal of the highest grade, right? And coal is nothing but it is carbon, right? This coal, it is used it is burnt, right, to obtain heat energy, right? And then coal, it is used in used as a fuel in thermal power plants, then to run the boilers, and also in railway engines. Also it is used in cooking and for baking bricks. So coal, it is of great importance to the industrial development, right children? So students, after that we saw about the ONGC, which is a national institution. So the full form of ONGC is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, right? So its head office is at Dehradun, which is in Uttarakhand. So this ONGC, it is the largest oil and gas research and the production company in India, right? So this ONGC, it produces 77% crude oil and 62% natural gas, right? Then children, we saw about the mineral oil, right? So mineral oil, it is also known as the liquid fuel, right? It is a liquid fuel, and it is also called as the petroleum or the crude oil. So how was this mineral oil formed? Again, same story, that millions of years ago, what happened, the bodies of the dead organisms, they sank into the bottom of the sea, and the layers of soil and sand got buried over them, right? And then because of the high pressure and temperature, the organisms, the remains of the dead organisms, they got transformed into fuel, right? Now this petroleum, it is greenish brown in color, right? And it is extracted through oil wells. So petroleum, it is mainly it is a mixture of compounds, but it mainly contains the hydrocarbon type, and it also contains the compounds of oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur, right? Then children, we saw that aviation petrol, your gasoline, then tar oil, then naphtha, lubricating oil, all these are made from petroleum, right? So then children, we saw that this petroleum, it is extracted through the oil wells, and then it is refined by fractional distillation. So I told you, refined means they remove the impurities which are present in the liquids, and fractional distillation, it is used for separating two miscible liquids, right children? So let's start with today's session. So what are fossils? Fossils are the preserved remains of the dead organisms in rock. Fossils are signs of their existence left behind by organisms that got buried billions of years ago. Sometimes impressions of the organisms are seen on the surfaces of coal and stones. So what are these fossils? They are the preserved remains of the dead organisms in the rock. So as I told you, the dead organisms which are there. It what it does, it leaves the impression means something you want to make a design by stamping it or by pressing it. So like that, on the coal and the stones, these remains of the dead organisms, they have left their impressions, right? So this is about the fossils. Right now children, these fuels, they are called as fossil fuels. So these fossil fuels, as I told you, the fuels are in solid, found in solid, liquid and gaseous state. Right now, solid means your coal, liquid means your mineral oil, and gas means it's a natural gas. Right, so in coal, I discussed that there are 4 types of coals, that is your peat, lignite, then bituminous coal and anthracite. Then in mineral oil, it's your petroleum, gasoline, lubricating oil, tar, etc. And in natural gas, you can see methane, butane, ethane, right, propane, all these things. Right students, so let's move to natural gas. So children, this natural gas, it is an important fossil fuel. It is found associated with petroleum in underground oil wells and in some places as natural gas alone. The main component of natural gas is methane, that is CH4, while ethane, that is C2H6, propane, C3H8 and butane, C4H10, they are present in small proportions. So this natural gas, it is an important fossil fuel. And where do you find this natural gas? Generally you will find it with petroleum only, right, and in the underground oil wells. But sometimes you can see this natural gas alone only, right? You will not find it along with petroleum, it will be alone. So, and the main component of natural gas is methane, and ethane, propane and butane, they are present in small proportions in the natural gas. Natural gas is formed from the remains of the organisms buried deep underground and subjected to high pressure. This fuel can be carried over long distances by means of a gas pipeline. Right? So, how is this natural gas formed? This natural gas is also formed from the remains of the organisms which were buried underground, right, and subjected to high pressure. Right, and this natural gas, it's a fuel which can be carried long distances also. And how they can be carried long distances? By the means of the gas pipeline, right? But in the absence of a network of pipelines, it is transformed under high pressure into compressed natural gas, that is CNG, and liquefied natural gas, that is LNG. This makes it possible to transport the gas. So children, whenever there is there are no network of this pipeline, right? So that time what it is done, it is transformed. That means it is changed under high pressure and then it is converted into compressed natural gas, that is CNG, and liquefied natural gas, that is LNG. And because it is converted into CNG and LNG, it is possible for transportation, right? So the transportation becomes safer. Now, what are the characteristics of CNG? That is compressed natural gas. C stands for compressed, N stands for natural, and G stands for gas. So, first thing is it catches fire easily, right? And no solid waste remains after combustion, right? Means when you burn it, after burning it, you will not find any solid waste remaining behind, right? Carbon dioxide and water are formed in small quantities, right? In the motor vehicles, when this compressed natural gas is used, it will give away a small amount of carbon dioxide and water, right? And other pollutants are not produced. Since this CNG, it is a clear gas, so what will happen? There will be no pollution and it can be transported easily, and combustion can be controlled easily. Means even if it burns this CNG gas, it is under control. You can control it easily, right? So what are the characteristics of CNG? It catches fire easily. Then there is no solid waste remains after combustion. Then in the motor vehicles, the amount of carbon dioxide and water which is formed, that will be formed in small quantities, and because of this there will be less pollution, right? And it can be transported easily, and combustion also can be controlled easily, right? So this CNG, it is a clear gas. Now what is liquefied petroleum gas? Now petroleum gas, it is obtained during refining of crude petroleum, right? This petroleum gas which is there, it is obtained during refining of crude petroleum. As I told you, refining means we remove the removal of impurities, right? So petroleum gas, it is transformed into a liquid by subjecting it to high pressure and reducing its volume to 1/240 of the original. It is stored in thick walled steel cylinders so that under pressure it remains in the liquid state, right? So this liquefied petroleum gas, it is obtained when the refining of crude petroleum is being done, right? Then what it is done, it is then transformed into a liquid, and then it is subjected to high pressure. That means high pressure is given and its volume is reduced to 1/240, right? And then this LPG, it is stored in a thick walled steel cylinder so that it remains in the liquid state only, right? So children, this LPG, as it comes out from the storage cylinder, it is transformed back into a gas. That means when it is in the steel thick steel wall cylinder, it is in the liquid form, but once it is taken out from that cylinder, it is again converted into a gas. So this gas, it contains only two components, mainly two components, that is propane and butane, in the ratio of 30:70. That is propane in 30 and butane in 70, right? And this LPG, it is an odorless gas. Odorless gas means it has no smell, but a small amount of chemical called ethyl mercaptan, which has a strong characteristic odor, is added to it. Because this LPG, it does not have any smell, so that's the reason a small chemical means in small quantity a chemical named as ethyl mercaptan is added to it, right? This ethyl mercaptan, it has got a very strong odor. So this helps to detect any leakage of LPG gas immediately and thus avoid any accident. So since this ethyl mercaptan is added, if there is any leakage anywhere, it can be easily identified, and then any accident can be avoided, right children? The demand for fuels has increased greatly due to rapidly growing population, but reserves of fossil fuels are limited, right? So you all know that our population is increasing day by day. So as the population increases, the demand also increases, right? So a lot of people, now you can see in everybody's house, almost there are two-wheelers, four-wheelers, right? And many people means the gas is also required, right? So it is difficult that these fossil fuels can be used till how much time we can use it, right? So it is becoming difficult to meet the increased demand, right? So the likelihood of these reserves getting exhausted is known as energy crisis. So it will happen that one day that all these fossil fuels, it will get exhausted, and that is known as energy crisis. So we have to use these fossil fuels in a very we have to use it very wisely, right? so that the demand can be fulfilled, right? So for this children, as the reserves of fossil fuels, namely mineral oil and coal, are limited and the demand is increasing, alternative fuels are coming into use, right? So this mineral oil, coal, these are limited, right? So and demand is increasing, so we have to find out an alternative fuel for it. So hydrogen, biofuels, methanol or wood alcohol, ethanol or green alcohol are some of the alternative fuels, right? So the alternative fuels are hydrogen, biofuels, methanol or wood alcohol, ethanol or green alcohol, because one day it will happen that this fossil fuels will not be available, so we have to find out an alternative source for it, right? So you can see children, nowadays, now this natural gas, it is very cheap also, right? So what many people do, that what they do, they take this four wheeler which is either petrol or diesel based, but then they get converted it into a LPG, because they can get converted into CNG, because CNG, compressed natural gas, is more cheaper than your petrol and diesel, right? So you might have seen in many vehicles or in auto rickshaws also these natural gases installed, right children? So children, this was what in today's session. Let's recap what we have learnt in today's session, children. So children, today we saw about natural gas, right? And in natural gas there is compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas, right? Then we saw the characteristics of compressed natural gas also, right? So this natural gas is also an important fossil fuel, and it is always found along with the petroleum, that is the mineral oil, but sometimes you can see this natural gas alone also, right? And the main component of this natural gas is methane, but ethane, propane and butane, they are also there in this natural gas, but in small proportion. Now this natural gas was also formed from the remains of the dead organisms, right, which were buried underground and then were subjected to high pressure, right? Now this natural gas, it is easy for transportation, right? So because it can be transported through the gas pipeline, right? But whenever there is no network of this pipeline, then what it is being done, under high pressure it is transformed into compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas, and so the transportation becomes easier. Also this natural gas is cheaper, right? Then the characteristics of compressed natural gas is that it catches fire easily, but when it burns, it does not remain behind, any solid substance doesn't remain behind. Then it is I mean, in motor vehicles, when this natural gas is used, it leaves very less amount of carbon dioxide and water, and there is no pollution because of this natural gas, and it can be transported easily also, and if the burning takes place, then it can be controlled also easily, right? Then we saw about liquefied petroleum gas. So this is also this is obtained during the process of refining of crude petroleum, right? And then this LPG, it is an odorless gas, so it does not have any smell, so that's the reason a small amount of chemical called as ethyl mercaptan is added to it, which has got a very strong odor. So if any leakage is there, it can be identified because of this smell of ethyl mercaptan, right? So now children, after that we saw children that these fossil fuels, they are getting exhausted because our population is increasing day by day, so we have to find some alternative fuels. So some of the alternative fuels are hydrogen, biofuels, methanol, ethanol, right? So we have to use the natural resources, that is the fossil fuels, very wisely, so that it does not get exhausted, right children? So in the next session we will see about the forest resources. Till then, goodbye.